Right, it is January 16th at 4 p.m. and we can go ahead and start the meeting. I will take roll call, starting with Newsom. Here. Oh.
Here. Hello.
Please. Here. Calvin.
Here.
And I will hand the meeting over to our chair, which is Stephanie Trees.
Thank you, and I don't know your name.
I'm Chelsea Sullivan.
Okay.
I'm covering for Lisa.
So she's out this week, so thanks for bearing with me as we go through it.
Thank you.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the procedural item of approving the November 14 minutes. May I have a motion to approve the November 14 minutes? There's a second. Okay, do we have any members of the public present?
Not correct.
Okay, then we can move on to the consent agenda. We won't discuss this unless there are questions by commissioners. Do any commissioners have any questions for staff about the consent agenda?
Fund financials fall into this separate.
Separate. Yeah, we'll do that next.
I think I'm good with that.
One question for Vitality. Since the outdoor seating dining thing comes up for review again in a month, is there any expectations, hopes, changes? Anything?
Sure, I can speak to that. So I've received just word of mouth, some interest from businesses who are interested in applying in February. And we are going to be hosting an outdoor dining workshop next Tuesday for any interested businesses to drop in, learn more about the program, ask questions, prepare their application materials to kind of mitigate some of those delays that we've seen in previous years. So we'll be doing that next week, and then the application will open on February 1. And I've had a handful of folks say they're interested in applying.
So that sounds like new people.
New people, yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Also,
Did you hear of any that are not continuing or that'll happen naturally? We'll find out.
Not discontinuing the program, and you are currently participating but no longer want to.
Correct.
Not that I've heard.
the only one that I can think of is Ruthie's on
Ruthie's,
the
that's
bricks.
right,
They have declined to continue. They had paid for a little spot and they decided it wasn't going to fit with their business model.
But they're staying, Ruthie's.
Oh yeah, Ruthie's is staying as a business. They're just
Okay.
not going to be using space on the bricks. And then there has been a closure at the kitchen next door. They've paid for their lease, and they are,
They turned it into an event space, or they
Yeah.
are going to be, and they'll
Right.
continue to utilize that parklet.
Okay.
And then
they're having events.
Ashkara turned into, is it the sophomore?
Sophomore.
And so they're continuing to utilize the parklet too.
And Hapa moved, so they won't have their brick space, but will they
And
have?
they-
the
are-
lease transferred with the space.
Or I think they might have to reapply for that space.
Oh, okay, well, then we need later. So Mike, who's the owner of Gemini next door to Hapa, is opening up a new concept in the Hapa space.
Oh,
And will be wanting to use the outdoor dining, so let's
Yes.
make sure that he's.
He's aware and
okay.
applying, yeah.
Cool, perfect.
Cool. Well, it's nice to see it. Seems to have some legs and energy.
Yeah, and we're getting the word out on this workshop to the business community through Downtown Boulder Partnership, the Hill Merchants, the Boulder Chamber, so that as many folks who want to participate can. Also incorporated in that is council requested a review after 2 years of the pilot. And so we'll be wanting to prepare some feedback to council and know how it's been going, presuming that they will want to see the program continue well beyond the pilot period.
Congrats.
I have a question maybe for you, Chris. The Boulder Streets as staff public, okay, the Boulder Social Streets.
Yes.
It said, you said that staff will go back to city council in 2024. When do you think the timing will be to hear? Because I imagine they have to plan for future events
So
this summer.
there has not been, there was a significant budget for activations in 2023 that has not been budgeted for this
Okay.
year. We're gonna see what we hear from city council through their retreat process to understand what their priorities are.
Okay,
We have a memo that's been prepared that could either be an information item to council just to brief them on what we learned from all the work that was done last year, but currently, unless it's identified as a priority for this new council, there's no additional activations planned for 2020.
okay. And does the memo has not yet been drafted, you're saying?
It's been drafted.
Okay,
We're waiting on timing because other things keep on
Okay.
popping up for the council
I think
agenda.
we'd be curious to hear how the city thought it went by program and just more of an assessment of its success. Or some things were successful, some things weren't, and why, just as a future learning for us.
Okay, we can put that on the agenda. And see if some folks from the project management team might be able to come talk to TMC at our March meeting.
Any other questions on the consent agenda? Okay, now we move on to fund financials. Any commissioners have questions for staff?
I have a question. What are these actuals for 2023 through? It just says 2023 year to date. Is that the whole year?
So we haven't closed out 2023 entirely, so this will adjust slightly with any invoices that are coming in final closeout of the year, but it will be pretty close to the numbers that you're saying.
Okay. Huge difference in the capital improvement program budget versus actual. To the tune of like $3 million.
So, yeah, so we had a pretty aggressive capital campaign. That's one of the things that will roll over. So where we might have encumbered them in 2023, we haven't necessarily spent them. So as the projects roll over or close out, those numbers will adjust.
By saying that you're comfortable with the number being higher because it's gonna eat into some of this year's budget too. But it's not executing,
Capital.
or it executes now, but it's the budget for 2 years later.
Exactly. So capital dollars roll over, operating dollars do not roll over. So those are the numbers that are supposed to pay attention to, because once the fiscal year ends and all of December gets closed out, then those numbers can't roll over into future years.
And operating was about 150% higher too. Let's see. 3,800 versus, or 3.8 million versus 2.6 million. Second one down and
The budget was
The
higher.
budget versus what we spent. So a big part of our operating on an annual basis is the Eco Pass program, which continues to be quite a bit more affordable than we had traditionally budgeted. So that's something that we're going to be looking to in our long-term fund planning, is understanding how we might want to shift some resources and focus on new priorities. You're going to be hearing later this morning, or this afternoon, sorry, from Regan on a pilot program we're pursuing with Commutify to redeploy dollars that were previously spent on just the Eco Pass to other types of transportation management tools for downtown and Boulder Junction employees. And so we're going to be working in some other ways to deploy resources, because our previous expenses are not as high as they used to be. And that's been a big one.
but then I also saw income was lower by 3.3 million.
Mostly due to parking revenue.
Yeah, parking and leasing,
Well,
but it's
and
all
we're
the same.
And we've got some, and that's where accounts receivable. So that'll go up as we close out 2023. That'll get closer to actual, but you'll note that with the implementation of Gateless, we did lower some of our visitor parking rates. And we've had some turnover in our permit partners. So we are expecting a brief decline in parking revenue going to Gateless. We do have some leakage folks who are trying to cheat the system out of to worry about a gate, preventing them from paying for their parking. So we're going to continue to monitor that. We were anticipating some revenue loss, but we've also seen a reduction in expenses. The amount of money that we're spending on repairing gates and keeping the garages up and running. So And we'll continue to monitor that, and make sure the intent is that it's as revenue neutral as possible in that. And so we're going to keep track of that.
But you're not concerned about that yet.
No.
And then the same vein, it looks like we're like 300,000 less than our budgeted leases, rent and royalties. We think that number is going to be closer to that budgeted number.
The leases, rents and royalties are typically based on if our spaces were fully leased, and we continue to have vacancies at 1100 Spruce. So that's impacted that. So that's probably
That's probably that.
exactly. So as long as that is, so we have 2 vacant spaces over there. So we certainly want to close that gap and get those spaces filled as quickly as possible. But this is presuming everything is fully leased in all of our spaces.
What does filling that look like?
So we contract with CBRE, they manage all of our spaces, and so we largely try to not have government be the ones working the deals on that. So they do have some possible tenants. We've been trying to focus on women, minority-owned businesses, local businesses. So we can, once we have a tenant that is signed, we're happy to share that news with you all. And there is a prospective tenant, whether or not it works out, we'll see. But CBRE manages that contract.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like we can move on. So next is the public safety update from the Boulder Police Department. We have 15 minutes allocated. Maybe you could share for 10 and we'll have 5 for questions.
I'll try to share it for 5, but we'll see.
Okay.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Steve Redfern, BPD. I brought with me Commander Barry Hartkop. So if you didn't hear the news, we're going through some changes, and Chief Harold is moving on to, I almost said bigger and better things, but I think we're pretty big and awesome here. But she has accepted a position with the federal government to continue to do her work that she's passionate about, which shows or has me stepping into the role as interim police chief. The city manager asked if I would be willing to step up into that role for an yet to be determined amount of time, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be super short. So I feel like I'm going to get to step in and really dive into this role for some time as interim chief. So I'm excited. She's shared with me that she expects me to run the police department like a chief and not just a placeholder. So that's what I intend to do. The reason I brought Barry with me today is he will be stepping into the role as interim deputy chief of operations. So he'll be doing all of the things that I typically have been doing, including coming to meetings like this. I'm going to still do my best to show up, but my schedule has in the last week gotten a lot more complicated. So I'm really excited, and I feel like we're going to be continuing to operate at a high level like we have. I don't think that there'll be any noticeable gaps in service or anything like that with a little bit of a change. So I don't know if you want to say anything, Barry, but Barry's been here quite a long time, knows the lay of the land, and I think we'll step in easily.
Yeah, very excited about it. Been here for about 34 years. My dad was a cop here, so I've been around Boulder for my entire life. I was brought up at BCH, when I was up on Broadway. So really excited about seeing this part of policing. I've done virtually everything else. This is a whole new role for me. And just very excited. Big shoes to fill, but it's going to be fun.
Awesome. So just a few updates. I think it seems like it's been a little while. Either I couldn't make the last meeting or something.
We only rotate so it's going to be every other one, and we only meet monthly. So we meet every other month.
Gotcha.
So we meet
Got
every
4 months. Okay. All right. I'll just
Right.
jam through this real quick and leave some time for questions. So we've got a lot going on. We've had somehow still a successful hiring push. We just finished 16 new officers in field training. So that's 16 new additional officers out on the street. We still had, I'd call it a trickle of departures now. We've had some senior level people leave to go to other jobs. But the good news is because of our increased hiring, we've added 2 additional officers to the mall team down on Pearl Street, 2 younger officers that are, I'm just really excited about it. And they're working 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. So now most days of the week we'll have coverage from about 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that we're hoping will help with just a visible presence down on the mall. We've added two or three additional spots up on our Hill team to deal with our college population. But they also, that team at night, when we're having issues down on the mall, they come down the hill and bring mall stuff. So we're hoping we can stave off additional departures, and we're going to continue to fill those teams. They all got taken down, not completely, but heavily during the pandemic because of staffing, and we're slowly trying to build it back up. That includes our traffic section and others. So we just graduated 4 from the academy, and then we had 8 more start the academy. So it's a constant kind of backfill of spots. So we're excited about that. Priorities right now, we're working with the SAMPS team, Safe Managed Public Spaces, on the new safe zones to see what that looks like. Not much different for us because we've prioritized a lot of those spaces, but it's a new thing that we're kind of learning how to deal with there. We're also working with municipal court. We've got some upcoming meetings with Judge Kahn and Chris Reynolds with the prosecutor's office to see if there's ways that we can better address our high utilizers population. That's an endeavor we talked about. Having our high utilizer working group. It's actually an idea that started out of the police department because our officers were really frustrated dealing with the same people over and over and over again and writing people 30, 40 tickets a month. So what we're trying to do and what other cities have done, we just read a study out of Seattle that showed if we have our hands on someone, we're in contact with one of our high utilizers, as opposed to writing them another ticket, we're taking them to jail, and based on state statute, they have to get out within 48 hours on lower level offenses. Be able to take them in front of the municipal judge right then to say, this person has 10 municipal warrants. Will you please figure out something so they're not just right back out on the street? So Judge Kahn is very receptive to that, and we're hoping that we can see a little bit more. And that's really for the most serious violators that are causing strains on all the systems. That's about it on the high level stuff. Real quick, we closed out 2023, and we've got some stats specifically to downtown. So for the mall area, which is basically, you kind of see the sector here. It's a few blocks on either side of the mall. For 2023, we saw double-digit decreases in almost every type of property crime, which includes burglary, motor vehicle theft, theft from motor vehicle. We saw large decreases, which is great because a lot of jurisdictions are seeing still big increases on property crime. Unfortunately, we did see rises in robbery and assault calls in this area, but we're only talking like when we're saying up, maybe 10 for the year. So it's not like some cities where you're seeing just massive problems. And typically the people on the assaults, rather, unless it's a bar fight, knew each other. So nothing of overly concerning on that, other than we're seeing a little bit of uptake. We've asked our officers to do a lot more, and we've seen the results, and that's in these statistics for 23. Specifically to the mall, our calls for service are down. For example, noise complaints, disturbances, burglary are all down. Trespasses are up, 44 for the year. But what we've asked our officers to do is just get out of the car, have more of a presence. And what we're seeing in 23, we saw 107% uptick in pedestrian contacts. That's someone our officers are going up to and saying, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Or, hey, you have an open container, let's talk about it. We saw a 63% increase in traffic stops for this area, 36% increase in directed patrols. That's where the officer calls out, I'm going to spend some time in this area for whatever reason. And then total proactive activities up 1,214 contacts for all of those. So we're continuing our officers are always willing to step up when we ask them to. And we're still focusing on this area with our stratified policing model and all those things. So it's happy to see that at the end of the year. Our focus this year are going to be to figure out how we can come down double digits on all of those types of crimes and problems. The one ask that we have, and I think I've said this before, I say it every time we have a meeting with business owners, is we hear the frustration, and we hear people say, I don't even bother calling anymore because this reason or that reason. And I'll fully acknowledge when Barry's been our night shift commander. When it's busy on a Friday and Saturday and a business owner calls and says, hey, 20 minutes ago, someone shoplifted, that call is probably not going to be at the top of the priority list where we have in progress calls, but people still need to call. And that's big for us because it helps us track statistics. It helps us justify hiring more officers, which we'd love to get to full staffing so we can ask council for more officers. And it really helps us track statistics. So that's the big ask, just to continue to call. The one thing I will say, as well as we're really looking at our 2024 community engagement strategies. We lost a lot of the face-to-face contact after 2020 and all of the things that we're all well aware of, COVID, murder of George Floyd, all of the things, and we're really trying to get back out in the community. So what I would ask of you all, Chris has already been helping me out a little bit with this, is if you see events, if you have things that you know about that you think it would be great to have us come by, please reach out. Let us know, hey, we're having this thing. It's easy for us to look at the city calendar, but I think we miss a lot of opportunities to have good contacts when it's not a cop enforcement situation. So I commit to you that if you send us information, you may not always get me, but we will send you police officers to come out and have engagement at anything. So that's all I have for overview. Did I miss anything that you think we need to talk about, Barry?
No, just one thing I want to reinforce with y'all is something that Chief Redfern mentioned. Our Hill team, it's our neighborhood impact team. They were reduced down to about 4 officers. And prior to Chief Redfern getting here, they were required to spend most of their time on the Hill. So back when I used to be in charge of the impact team back in 2014, and it was Hill and Mall. We spent a lot of our time on the Mall as well. That was back when we were staffed with 10 officers. We have increased staffing for them, as Chief mentioned. They're up to 6 now. And what has been conveyed to them is the expectation is that they will take ownership on what's going on in the mall as well during their work hours. So I think you're going to see they usually work from 5 at night till 3 in the morning. During that time period, you're going to see a larger police presence, especially during bar close, usually from 10 o'clock on, you're going to see a larger police presence down in the downtown area. And because of this increase to our neighborhood impact team and a change in their responsibilities.
So is that going back to walkthroughs of the bars?
Yeah, I would anticipate you're gonna see more of what we used to do back in the day, where we would get out on foot, walk through the bars, talk to the employees of the bars, make sure everything is going okay, have more of an interaction with everybody, and get an idea of what's going on, what the issues are. Yeah, I would anticipate you'll see more of that as we continue to increase staffing, especially for that neighborhood impact team, so that they can get down.
But feel free to call in the meantime. If you guys are feeling something weird, the vibe is just off in your establishment, don't hesitate to call and say, hey, can we get a couple people to walk through?
I feel like we're pretty good about that, at least in our place.
Cool.
Do you think that the previously lower staffing, like in 2023, contributed to potentially an environment where more shoplifting or robbery can take place? And do you see like the opposite happening if there's more police presence on the mall?
It's a great question. So yes, and there's more to that equation. So studies have shown it's very clear a police presence prevents crime. Having a uniformed officer, if somebody, let's say, I decide I'm going to go down to the mall and say, you know what, I'm going to find somebody to victimize today. If I get down there and every corner I see cops walking around, I'm probably going to go, all right, I'm going to go elsewhere. The problem is tracking that to determine if we actually prevent crime. Like we know we prevent crime if we stop somebody in the act of stealing a car. It's the thing in our profession. We tell our officers all the time, you'll never know the impact you make because someone may decide not to do something because of just your presence. So I think it's a huge deterrence. And when we focus our officers' attention on where we're seeing hotspots, Circle K, other areas, we see a drastic decrease in calls for service there. What we also see though is we're one part of that equation in the criminal justice system. And Colorado, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not weighing in on whether I believe it's right or not, has truly made it where you will only go to jail for very serious offenses. Not fully acknowledging jail is not the answer for somebody with a drug addiction, mental health problem, lower level offenses, but people have expressed to us all the time of, give me another ticket, I know I'm not going to go to jail. So there's multiple facets to that equation of why we see an uptick, and it's not unique to Boulder. If you look around statistics, Colorado, number 1 in the United States for car theft, and other jurisdictions, are trying to figure out the same thing. So, yeah.
Okay. And a related question around the assaults. Do you think, were those assaults in downtown, and were they related to businesses or not related?
That statistic was specific to downtown. Actually, the one thing with this is that was specific to District 3. Actually, I can't get the statistics. So that's all of District 3. So that includes the Hill, which obviously this was a unique season, and knock on wood, we made it all through football season without a major catastrophe. We did have a guy pull a gun out in one of the bars on the hill, but our cops were right outside, arrested him. So we could easily, if you want, next time, I can have our analysts look at that more to see what the statistics are. But I know just by looking at it, and Barry can to back me up on this, we have our unhoused population, a lot of our victims and offenders are unhoused. And so that's some of these assaults, I know for sure. Some of them are after bar type fist fights. Very rarely are they random. Very rarely are they offender. There's not some sort of correlation. But if you'd like for next time, we can break that out a little.
I think I'm most interested in the impact, on the mall and on the businesses and just the general perception of public safety.
Yep.
And what, I think presence is gonna make a big difference. We've seen that with the downtown ambassadors, but also with police presence specifically for crime, because the ambassadors have said they can't get anyone to listen to them, but they're there to be helpful.
Yeah.
So I think we have always been supportive of the combination of like the right use case. So that I'm glad to hear that there's gonna be more presence, and I'm curious to hear maybe in the future if there are issues after, they leave at 6. I know the main time of crime is during the daytime hours, but I'd be curious to hear in the future what impact you notice after they've been in there for a while.
Absolutely, and we get monthly stats that break it down by time of day of the week, so I can bring more robust stats next time.
Congrats to both of you on your new roles, first of all. It's really great. The high utilizer thing, I think is fantastic, because we've talked about that before, that we've all seen the same people over and over again, and one of them is back. And what percentage of the interactions you have do you think are really concentrated around that high utilizer population?
So it's a new enough endeavor. We don't have great stats. We just started this probably about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We have identified about 46 people that are on this list. And the nice thing about what we're doing is, so like the Seattle study was only people going and charged with crime. We have high utilizers that actually don't have a lot of police contact, but they're huge utilizers in the ER, ambulance services, mental health. And so that we have everyone at the table. We sit in this room and it's mental health providers, hospital staff, fire, police, everybody. And so we just have some data agreements that have been signed. Like for the hospital, we had to get through some HIPAA stuff to allow our analysts to have the stats from everybody. Our stuff's pretty easy, so we've been waiting for that. What I can tell you is we have successfully taken a few people off that list. The big goal was to say, all right, we get every morning I get a list of the prior arrestees. If one of them's on the list of our high utilizers, I email that out to the whole group. And then the onus in the jail people are on there is to say, this person is in jail for a week. How can we meet them at the back door of the jail to potentially take them to a resource, so they're not right back down in here in an environment where they can easily buy drugs and things. And so we have seen some of these are hard cases. I mean, one guy, our number one high utilizer, had 60 tickets in a like 2-month period. And he will flat out say, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to be on the street. He's 50-some years old, highly addicted to drugs. He jumped out the second floor window. He agreed in municipal court to go to some treatment. And so they dismissed all his cases. Well, he's at the treatment thing, jumps out the window, and leaves. And so some people like that, I mean, it's tough, but we have actually moved some people off. There's a great facility called Fort Lyon that is a long-term treatment facility. We've been able to take people there. So I think we're going to see successes, but it is challenging because these are truly the people. None of them are allowed in the shelter. They've all been banned from the shelter. We've talked about the lack of resources. So yeah, I'm very hopeful though.
Are they even banned during those cold periods and stuff like that?
Well, that's why we opened the emergency shelter over this extreme cold. Is pretty much everybody in the East Boulder Rec emergency shelter had been banned from the main shelter. So we're not going to.
That's the story you don't know.
Yeah, and we surprisingly, Barry and I were on calls all weekend. Didn't have any major issues. Knock on wood. But
At those facilities.
Yeah.
Well, I love that high utilization proactive track you're taking. I think that's really great. I mean, if you can not react and be proactive, hopefully you can hit some of them. So
well, and truly, I appreciate that. And truly, it is a form of police reform if you think about it, because if we're able to remove somebody from a situation where they have to have repeat police contact, the likelihood of something going bad, you have 1 in a million police contacts, some of those may go south and end up in a confrontation. And if we can remove that as even a barrier, then it helps. And our officers get frustrated with these people too that are repeat. So I think we could have a model that other cities could use if we continue to on the path.
Great.
A connected question to that is, how many of these high utilizers, or maybe I'm just generally curious, are related to complaints that the business owners have, like people in front of their businesses? I've been hearing that a lot, and I don't know if it's the
Quite a few.
weather or if it's a lot more than last year, and I'm curious if this has gone up, if it's connected to the high utilizer work. Are you concerned about this in particular compared to last year?
I don't think I don't know if there's a huge difference from last year, but every single person on our high utilizer list is unhoused. It wasn't a prerequisite. We looked at everybody, all of our top contacts on multiple fronts. And they're people that are not afraid to be out in front of a business and things like that. I can't name names, but there's people you all would be very familiar with that are on that list of one person in particular that had been camped out in front of a business for months with medical issues the jail didn't want to take. And so I don't know, I really don't know of a noticeable difference between this year and last. I think what we will notice and what we have noticed is there's a couple of those prolific people that we have gotten off the streets into services, and people are like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen so-and-so. That person that used to always be here is gone. Are they, people will be like, oh, did something happen to them? No, we actually got them into the program. So the more we are successful with that, the more we'll have just more resources in our toolbox to be able to cater to whatever that individual's needs. There's almost always a drug problem, mental health problem, and typically it's a combination of both.
Thank you.
It's impressive to hear by talking to you guys after all these years, like you've been implementing things and now it's bearing fruit, it sounds like.
It is, and we can't, especially.
Yeah,
We're working towards it.
Right, and bringing in a lot of the partners though, and part of it for me and for us too is we don't want to put our officers in the position where they're set up for failure. So most of the time when our officers are having an encounter with somebody, all of the other systems have failed. If these people could be somewhere else, they would be there. And so when we're having repeated contact, we don't want to, number one, we don't want our officers to feel like their job is futile and decide, I don't want to do this anymore because they don't have any impact. But number two is just having additional resources where it provides our officers some cover so they're not the only ones repeatedly having to deal with certain individuals. So I'm hopeful that it's going to continue.
Get a press release for it.
We're not there yet. We're hopefully soon. We are presenting to City Council on February 8th on the high utilizer. It's a study session, but we are presenting to council because we're going to ask for significant funding to assist with this endeavor.
One last question remaining related to that is, do you think that like the lack of treatment facilities is like a huge issue in actually getting success in this program? And to what extent is the city not responsible? Are there other players involved? It seems like there's somewhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look at other states, Colorado is always, at one point, we were dead last in the United States when it came to mental health treatment. I mean, we were dead last. And for being a fairly progressive state, to me, that was puzzling. But when you look at it, it's not necessarily even a Boulder City issue. Countywide, statewide, the state mental health, we have one state mental health hospital. They get fined millions of dollars a month because they are not doing what the state is regulating or mandating they do. We have 60 to 80 people at a time sitting in the county jail waiting to go to the state hospital for evaluation. You saw it with the King super shooter. It took forever to get a proper evaluation. And so if we had even regional mental health facilities, perfect would be every county has a facility, and the sheriff will tell you the same thing, the frustration there. The 400 some beds in the jail are meant to be double occupancy, but they see so many mental health cases, they have to put so many people alone because they can't be housed with other people. That's why we end up getting frustrated, because the jail standards are high. So in a perfect world, I would love to see the state and the county and, others step up. One of the things we're exploring with the High Utilizer Initiative, I don't think I'm giving away any secrets, is looking at private donations as well to see if foundations and other people will help us with this endeavor, because I'll say it all day long, I don't think it's compassionate to let somebody stay on the street when it's 20 below zero because we don't have a proper facility for them. I think there's got to be a better way to do that.
Is our jail still pretty highly occupied?
Yes, but it's better than it was. I mean, there was over the late summer, the jail standards were basically, they had the no vacancy sign on and it had to be serious. They've come off of that. And I think they're doing pretty good. The sheriff, I will say to his credit, we've done a couple operations here in Central Park recently where we're targeting drug dealers because of overdoses. And if we call him and say, hey, we're going to do operation this day, these drug crimes may not meet your criteria. Will you take these people on? And he's always wanted to work with us on that. But yeah, there's still some that we really wish they would take. They've got to have those criteria or else. And they did break ground on the alternative sentencing facility that'll provide a lot more beds, but that's again, probably a year more out from what I'm hearing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys so much.
We're on to the next meeting, but thank you guys. It's always good to see you.
Appreciate the update.
All right.
Okay, Tina, you're up next. We have a downtown Boulder partnership update. You have 15 minutes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And again, I apologize for being late. That was not the first impression that I intended to do. But I was on my way and then I got distracted by running into somebody in the street who wanted to talk to me. So my name is Bettina Swigger. I'm the new CEO for Downtown Boulder Partnership. I just arrived here at the end of November. Most recently, I was the CEO of Downtown San Luis Obispo in California. But I went to Colorado College and I lived in Colorado Springs for more than a decade. So I'm really, really happy to be back home in Colorado, despite the extremely rude weather we have against. But I will be willing to forgive it because Boulder is amazing. I want to start off first with actually a community safety update. And I know the Chief Redfern just gave you a really deep dive into some of the crime statistics, but one of the other ways that we're working with the police department at Downtown Boulder Partnership is the community services officer, Mitch Trujillo, who may have been to this group before. He's going to be doing a crime prevention tips and safety workshop for businesses. So that'll be taking place on January 30th, and it's in our office building, the Broadway building at Pearl Street. We have about 10 spots open for that. So if you're interested, it's open to downtown business owners. And he's going to go through tips, things about how to set up your environment to prevent shoplifting, and also just some safety tips for people in the workplace. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you're interested,
It's more oriented towards retail.
Retail, restaurants, hospitality, or first level businesses. But I think anybody who wants to can certainly come and attend. So if you're interested, you can sign up and just send an email to Terry at downtownboulder.org, our SVP for that. We also had a very successful holiday season downtown. So you'll note that some of the lights are starting to come down from the periphery of downtown, but we're going to be keeping the lights up on the Pearl Street Mall through the end of February. And we'll be changing some of those lights to represent more Valentine's Day pink as opposed to the red and green for the traditional winter holidays. That was a great initiative. We had St. Nick on the bricks. We had our holiday Lights of December parade, which had lots of people despite it also being cold. And our promotions are doing pretty well. We additionally had 26 new businesses open at the street level in the calendar year of 2023. So that's a nice statistic to share with you all. We are aware of the second and third floor vacancies and certainly have some ideas and strategies to put into place, not just us as Downtown Boulder Partnership, but in collaboration with the chamber, with the city, and with lots of other civic leaders who are really looking to solve this challenge. I did hear an interesting statistic earlier today, and I think I was listening to Marketplace, and they were saying that office vacancy has actually been on decline since the 1970s when a lot of offices started moving into downtowns. So it's kind of easy for us to think that COVID changed everything. But it's been in a continual evolution of office spaces through the years. So one of the things that I'm interested in exploring, although I know I'm very new in my tenure, is maybe some concepts for partnering with the university, potentially doing some adaptive reuse and working with the community vitality team on some ideas about how to bring in some tenants who perhaps couldn't afford some of the astronomical rents that are in the bigger spaces that are available. I'm on, yes.
Is there any possibility of figuring out ways to bring those rents to a less astronomical level?
That's sort of that's the golden question. And unfortunately, it's up to the property owners and for the most part, because they are the ones who own it. And we do live in a society that is governed by capitalism, at least in the free market.
Yes, any proposals for vacancy taxes or anything like that?
That's not something that our organization has discussed. I've been doing one-on-one meetings with all of our city council members, with city staff, and it's possible that something like that could come up. I think the only thing that I've heard about, and please, Chris, jump in here because I'm so new. I'm like an infant being swaddled in the arms of the community. The only thing I've heard about a vacancy tax is something about potentially on residences that came up during the campaign, but I don't believe there are any initiatives.
There's no movement, but that is part of the conversation, certainly for these vacant commercial spaces. But wanting to make sure that we don't come up with solutions that just exacerbate the problem. So I know it's part of the conversation. Don't know of any timeline or implementation conversation right now.
I will add all the stuff at the state level dealing with mill levies and taxes. The taxes have gone up about 30% from the last time that I had to, and it goes up way faster than rent does.
Yeah, and that's a whole other level of complexity that has caused some challenges for a lot of the special districts in Boulder County, because the assessment was disputed by so many property owners because it escalated so quickly. So that was one of the really fun things I got to learn about in my first 30 days. But we're going forward with a lot of our plans for the winter and spring. One thing of note, for those of you who liked attending downtown events, we are bringing back Taste of Pearl, which hasn't been around since before the pandemic. So we're really excited to bring that back. That will be on Sunday, April 14th. And tickets will go on sale for that soon. We're also looking forward to our annual awards luncheon where we'll be honoring some different citizens and some businesses. That luncheon is almost sold out. I think we only have about 35 seats left. So that'll be at the St. Julian Hotel on Friday, February 2nd. If you want to get tickets for that. And I have just been engaged in a listening tour. I've met with around 50 people so far, and including Stephanie and Dawn. I really appreciate your time. And Stephanie came to our combined bid and downtown Boulder partnership meeting last Thursday. So if you are interested in sitting down with me, I'd love to hear your perspective and learn more about why you chose to serve on the DNC. And I'm just delighted to be here. And I didn't prepare any slides, so you're not going to get death by PowerPoint from me, but I'd be happy to take any questions if you have any.
I have a question, back on the topic of maybe the potential repurposing or creative strategies for the commercial vacancies. Is there a official working group to solve this problem? Or is it a lot of separate conversations happening now? And is there a leader of this initiative? And I ask because I think I'm hearing a lot of rumblings, but not a definitive way that we're as the DMC, we can be involved and support in some way. I don't know also what our role would be, but just thinking about that. Or is this all kind of unofficial conversations now?
That's a great question, and you may have some more insight than I do. I would share that just last week alone, I went to a luncheon with Chris. Actually, we were at the Community Builders, Commercial Brokers.
CBB. Commercial Brokers of Boulder. I like that. If that's not it, that's what she made.
But there were two city council members who were talking about this issue specifically. So I think that it is moving, and from my perspective, it's moving beyond just people talking here and there to really becoming more of a strategic thing. And one of the things that I'm really interested in, and I can't make any promises about how quickly this will happen, but I really want to have a deeper understanding of what the actual numbers look like. Because it's really hard to track those businesses up there, right? Like it almost takes somebody going up the stairs and walking into every single one, and that just takes a lot of time. So I don't think we have the really accurate numbers from the different property managers, and different communities are challenged by this. Like the people in Dallas and downtown Houston and downtown Denver, they are all having these same conversations. So I think it might require some data gathering so we can really figure out what is fact versus what is feeling, right?
Yeah, and also like I was Denver, I know I was reading an article about that they did an assessment, some like architectural design firm that seems to be expert in this, about like all of the buildings that could be converted from commercial into residential, like based on feasibility. And it feels like we're moving towards the direction of doing something more formal, like a formal analysis of what is the state of the commercial vacancy and like what are the potential solutions, who owns it. And I think I have to say to Chris that when it becomes more solidified, I know Matt Benjamin and we had coffee and he mentioned, I think the DMC should be involved in this because it's primarily in the downtown and it's like something that we want creative energy on and all this stuff. So I'm just saying that I'd like for us to figure out how we can get involved and support that when it solidifies more. Because I think it's within our roughly, right, Chris?
It's certainly within the boundaries.
Within the boundaries.
There are, more commercial properties within downtown management commission than probably our other districts. I would note that the chamber is very interested in leading the conversation in a lot of ways. The CBB very likely is going to be moving into the chamber.
Okay.
So the city is it's certainly not an informal conversation. I'm anticipating that council is going to be highlighting economic development, and I said the D word, which is you don't hear very often. So in their council retreat coming up here in a month or so. So we are going to be hearing more about this, and it's not going to be just a community vitality or just a downtown thing either. And so there certainly is going to be updates and work to bring to you all. But the commercial vacancy challenge isn't just limited to the downtown. So, and the city plays a part in some components of land use rules. There are a lot of things that could possibly change that will help incentivize the transformation of private commercial space. Community vitality and the resources that we have access to might be able to influence a portion of that to kind of set the stage of some possibilities. And I think that as we explore the affordable commercial pilot program, that will be happening within CAGID, I'd say that there might be some really good synergies and opportunities there of activating underutilized space in some interesting ways.
Landing also involved in that for approvals of.
Yeah, so and we heard some great things from the CBB last week related to energy code requirements and landmarking with how many buildings in Boulder are becoming more than 50 years old. Potentially every building is going to have to go through some sort of landmarking conversation if you want to make any changes. Is that appropriate? So there are a lot of hurdles the city has put in place over time that make transformation really challenging. It's hard for a restaurant to convert to a restaurant in a space that was a restaurant. And there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons why. Yes, it just got a little bit better. And so planning very much will be part of the conversation. How to be better incentivize and streamline processes to be more flexible because we don't know how it's all going to play out.
Any other questions from commissioners?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Katina.
Okay, I think we're gonna move on to matters from staff. We have 75 minutes allocated for this, and less than 75 minutes left in the meeting. But I imagine that was conservative estimate. So community vitality annual plan, you think we can?
Yeah, we can
fit
go
it
fast.
within?
I do have slides though. And I'll start, well, first, I want to acknowledge that Elliot Levanti has shown up on screen. I don't know if he listened in when I tried to answer your questions on the fund financials. And if there's anything that he wants to add or clarify to my answers.
Good evening, commissioners. Thanks, Chris, for answering those questions. I was eagerly waiting to hit the unmute button, but unfortunately, you got it all perfect. So if you guys do have more questions about our fund financials and the future health of the Caged Fund, always here to answer those questions. To Chris's point, the year end will close. Traditionally, we have a kind of a soft close end of January and then a hard close end of February for the previous fiscal year. We are working with CBRE, our property management company, to get those final lease payments in for 2023, just kind of reconciling those books. So that number should go up significantly over the next couple weeks. So by next commission meeting, we should have a good update on that. Something else you'll see is we're going to be working hard to chew off that ambitious capital plan going into 2024, especially any of that stuff we could not achieve in 2023. So just want to let you know we're working hard to get done what we're trying to say we're getting done. So hopefully those numbers only increase, not at the point that our revenue, though, isn't increasing. One extra point I will mention on the parking revenue, Chris mentioned the decrease in expenses. One of those expenses that we saw decrease is actually our credit card processing fees. So as you know, most retailers have to pay credit card processing fees. However, ours are a little higher than normal because our low amount per transaction. So rather than the 1.5% for Visa, MasterCard, Discover, it's actually quite a bit higher than that because a lot of our charges are $1.50. So that's one thing where we are seeing some cost savings, which will be great. So kind of that offset of loss of revenue, we're also decreasing our expenses a little bit as well. So we're seeing some more economic activity downtown as well, which is great. So more and more people, I think, are kind of wanting to get back to that pre-COVID level of life. So we will continue to see that reflected in our reports. But I think, Chris, you nailed it. So I just want to say thank you for having me, and it's nice to meet you all.
One quick question in between Bettina and maybe Elliot is, do you have any reconciliation of like how the holiday season went for shopping and sales tax?
Unfortunately, we don't. It's a big lag, sales tax. So our central finance department produces a sales tax report pretty much every month and more thoroughly every quarter. And we will certainly have that report for you next DMC meeting in March. So we can give you a little bit more update on our sales tax figures. I don't even want to guess because I don't really know exactly how it went. But I know Small Business Saturday is something that does attract a lot of people to the downtown area.
I can provide some anecdotal evidence, if you will.
Okay.
We actually did a marketing survey with several different downtown districts across the state of Colorado, where we all asked the same questions, and we sent out a survey. So this is not scientific, but it is, again, anecdotal. And we got about 75 responses from this survey, and the results, unfortunately, were all over the map. So some people reported that their sales were down, and other people reported that their sales were up. Small Business Saturday and Shop Small Weekend is always a big driver, and unfortunately it was really cold that weekend, so that did not start off the holiday shopping season very well. But the last two shopping weekends before Christmas did really well, and there was more foot traffic downtown. So we can provide some head count data and more of that on the other side. And I'd be happy to also present some longitudinal data if you want to see how we compare to other communities throughout the state.
That'd be great.
Thank you so much, Elliot, for those clarifications. I'm going to share my screen so we get started with the presentation. We might need to, no, we don't need to pin me because it's showing up. Perfect. Let me start this. Before I get into this, I want to note we have a new item on our work plan. Are you able to move yeah, thank you. That just showed up this weekend. On Sunday, we had a pipe burst at the 1500 Pearl garage. And in the emergency, I think some thoughtful folks who showed up to address the emergency turned off a lot of valves in our fire panel room, including the boiler system. So in the deep freeze, the heating system for the entire building froze up. And so we are in the midst of no heat, no water, the entire 1500 Pearl facility. The garage is still fully operational, but our office and tenant spaces are significantly impacted. I do know one tenant space does have a water impact. So we're in the midst of working with restoration services, various insurance policies, to work through all this to get the building up and fully functioning. This is really warm in here compared to the temperatures we have at 1500 Pearl. We're looking forward to the slight warm up in the weather in the next few days. Hopefully we can thaw some things out and get things moving again. But we'll probably be giving you some updates on the expense side, what it's going to take to get everything back up and running. I'm going to be providing an update to council just via email, just let them know about these impacts. But largely, I mean, I'm mostly concerned. Our team, we're resilient and flexible. The retailers that are impacted, we have 4 commercial tenants who are not able to open. And so we want to get them reopened as soon as possible. But with that, I have my presentation of our annual work plan. I think it's like 8 slides. I'll just fly through them real quickly. I want to remind you all that everything, you probably heard them say this many times, everything that we do at the City of Boulder falls under the Sustainability, Equity, and Resilience Framework. A number of goal areas that began 15 years ago as the triple bottom line. There was a time where that was like the catchphrase for making sure that you're focusing on environment, social, and economic, making sure you're thinking about all those things all at the same time. We've expanded over the years to these 7 goal areas that we want to make sure that we're contemplating in all the work that we do throughout the city. Specifically in community vitality, we have 3 strategic pillars that we focus on in our unique work in the organization in support of the SARE framework, but specific to the work of community vitality. So they are cultural vibrancy. That's our Office of Arts and Culture, our Office of Special Events. District vitality, that's our general improvement district management and our key commercial areas. This is both the capital programs that we've had over years and the maintenance of the things that we've built, which we're dealing with right now. And then access for all. This is our programs and products that encourage folks to get to our key commercial places in as many modes as possible. We know that the more money, while it's a lot to spend money on EcoPass and other TDM benefits, that the only thing more expensive than doing that is building more parking garages. And so we really want to encourage as many visitors, residents, employees, anybody who wants to come to downtown Boulder or our key commercial centers, let's get them to take other modes of transportation so we don't find ourselves building more pipes that we need to break. Anyhow. So some key highlights that you're all hopefully.
Those gears wouldn't work together.
It's government. So some key highlights that you all have been very much involved in 2023. First, in cultural vibrancy, our team distributed over $1 million, 158 arts grants in the community. There's a new art installation at Valmont Park called the Rain Garden, which you haven't seen. If you haven't seen it yet, probably wait till it's better weather to check it out, or raining. not snowing. And then, of course, all of our commercial area activations from Social Streets on 13th Street to the Apres Fest on the West End to a number of events led by Boulder Transportation Connections out at Boulder Junction. On the district vitality front, we had a ton of capital projects going on in 2023 in pretty much every single one of our downtown garages. I think all of them except for Trinity, I think had something going on at some time or another and continue to have some things going on. So those projects are largely getting wrapped up. We still have some work happening at the St. Julian and project wrapping up at 1100 Spruce and maybe Randolph's wrapping up as well. Of course, just in time to start the round for our 2024 capital campaign in our downtown facilities, which I'll talk about shortly. Regan led a project for the past couple of years on Boulder Junction wayfinding and branding. Those signs are currently being installed. I don't know.
Weather's delaying it a little bit,
Yeah.
but next week for sure.
So I'm not sure how much time you all spend at Boulder Junction, but some new interesting branding. I don't want to call them branding because it's more than that, but icons. I'd say they're that have been designed in partnership with the residents and employees in the area, as well as the Boulder Junction commissions, to create more sense of place in the Boulder Junction area.
Chris,
Yeah.
are there new wayfinding signs on Pearl, or did I just not notice them before?
There are new wayfinding signs that actually downtown Boulder Partnership
Okay.
worked,
Okay,
you're talking about the little signs that have popped
Yeah.
up. Yep, those are
okay. I
probably.
was like, am I crazy or
6
were these
months?
not here before?
They predate Bettina, so they could, I think they're
Okay.
about 6 months old.
But she's gonna take the credit.
Yeah.
Or the blame, depending on what.
Well, and it's a
No,
good
I mean, I know
segue.
where things are, but I can imagine it would be helpful.
Well, and we're so lucky to have the Business
Yeah.
Improvement District and the Downtown Boulder Partnership to help us with those unique things that create that sense of place, especially with the high number of visitors, which is a segue into our conversation around the University Hill revitalization efforts, which Regan has also been leading that work in anticipation of the Hill Hotel opening, which will be a Moxie Hotel and a Limelight Hotel and Conference Center. We want to leverage those investments to the greatest extent possible and make sure that when folks are coming to those facilities, that they're going up to the hill, also having a great experience if they're coming downtown. And so we have a lot of recommendations from the Urban Land Institute, which we've been talking with you all and with UCAMC about the work that's going on there to build better connections between downtown and the hill. So more to come on that. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. On the Access for All front, you're all very well aware of the big change in the garages going gateless. We also have the new lollipop signs that are much more dynamic and they work, which you all were involved in establishing the resources to help make that happen. We were able to incorporate real-time parking space information. It's still getting dialed in a bit. If you've noticed that the map doesn't always add up if you've seen them, but we are really glad to be able to provide some better wayfinding guidance and real-time information about garage capacity. And last but not least, we've updated all of the on-street signage throughout the managed parking districts. So big changes in the customer experience all over town in the work that CV does last year. So again, we're continuing to do some repairs. Some projects are rolling over in a number of garages. We're also working to get the Spruce parking lot repaved. We've done some pothole repair, but we want to get it up to a better standard this year. Regan is continuing to do work in partnership with CU on the Affordable Commercial Pilot Program. So you'll be hearing more about that moving forward. As I mentioned, the University Hill revitalization work is ongoing. You already heard about the outdoor dining pilot program and the work we're doing there. We're also, it's a small thing, but a really important thing, wanting to make sure that we are improving the tree canopy in the districts that we serve to the greatest extent possible. In the first place, we want to start is the trees adjacent to the buildings that we own and maintain. And so we're working on getting those tree grates and trees improved. For 2024, on the cultural vibrancy side, in anticipation of the 2A sales tax, we want to be having some conversation with the community, the arts community and the community in general, around what the priorities are going to be in the near term and over the 20-year timeline of that new tax. And so that'll be envisioned as an update of the community cultural plan over the next year and a half, anticipating of future budget processes.
Question between this and what we were talking about on the previous slide with the hotels coming and stuff like that. I know there's like bronculars and gondolas and all sorts of stuff. Is there anything simpler that we can start planning for now for signage and, hey, fun down here?
Yeah, it's not on your agenda this month, but I imagine we'll have it on your agenda in March. And so we are exploring some near-term low-hanging fruit, similar to the wayfinding tools that we have on Pearl Street Mall. Are there some cheap, easy things that we can do with the Hill Hotel opening mid to late March?
Oh, that's soon.
That's
Yeah,
it.
soon.
Wow.
Just open up Slide the City again and just put the ramp down the hill.
This-
There you go.
Yeah.
We also need people to go up the hill. That's the.
And that's a
So-
good commission.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I,
it.
I think we're definitely, I mean, that walking, I avoid that walk at all costs, not because it's uphill, but just because it's, I don't know, I don't always feel comfortable walking around that bend as a small woman, and I think a lot of people feel the same, and I just, it's easier to just bike quickly or avoid or drive, and so I do think like a concerted effort around that space, because it's not well lit and it's like hidden and it just doesn't feel like no one, if something happened to you, no one would see you, like that sort of thing. And so I feel like, yes, there's the basic like downtown this way, but that walkway and that behind space, I feel like if even lighting, I didn't mention it to you, Bettina, but like the lights at night in winter, like they're the difference between many people probably going out or not going out, right? It's just, you don't feel safe at night at 4 p.m., right? Because it's dark already. So just was thinking about that and how you use light to at least make people feel like they should make that trek.
Well,
down that
there are
path.
a number of corridors that we want to highlight
Yeah.
from downtown. 11th Street already there's an 11th Street corridor with some pedestrian scale lighting
Yeah,
that we've spent a lot of money on, but there isn't signage that kind of guide you that way. And
Yeah.
then the Arboretum, the multi-use path, that is part of the civic area planning work that's going on.
okay,
That will be some significant investment in that connection.
okay,
Along 13th Street up through that space. And so they're in very short order, there will be some major planning and investment for that specific corridor. In
okay,
the meantime, we want to highlight all the other ways that you can get up to the hill
okay.
safely as
Would
well.
you be able to inform us as to when there's anything of note?
Oh, yes, you will be,
Okay.
you are a stop along.
March isn't that far
Stakeholder-
away.
It sounds like you were gonna present that in March, so.
Oh, the low hanging fruit, yes.
Yeah, because that might be like a longer term, multi-year thing is what you're,
Right, so
Applying,
the civic,
okay.
yeah, the civic area work will be multi-year and you will be involved in that.
okay,
We'll be talking with both, well, UCAMP sees us for the same thing. So
okay,
we are planning that conversation for March. We're in the midst of a strategic plan for our Office of Special Events. It's been underway for a few months now. And so that'll be translating into a number of recommendations about how city better facilitates the event planning and implementation process, and maybe some other recommendations around revenue generating options so that we can be more proactive and more involved in the special event and activation outcomes in the community. So nothing to report on that. I'm hearing more from us on that. The team is also planning to do an audit of all of the city-owned public art. Now that the Boulder Public Library is its own separate district, we have inherited a bunch of art that the library had in its basement. And so our Office of Arts and Culture is seeking to understand what we own and we need to, we're working on making sure it's stored properly and exactly right. We're not gonna store it at the Tinner Pearl garage.
I realize it's like kindergartner painting.
So a lot of work happening there. The 20-year lease for the dairy center expired a couple years ago. We've been doing year by year extensions, but we're really wanting to enter into another long-term lease with the dairy. It's a city-owned building, and our Office of Arts and Culture is leading those negotiations on the city side. There's also some work to expand our city public art efforts into our neighborhoods in a more meaningful way. So through our art granting, we want to, and some ARPA funds that we have, the American Rescue Plan Act. We want to be expanding our art opportunities in neighborhoods around the city, particularly that have neighborhoods that have been impacted by COVID. And then again, we're going to continue our granting program. We anticipate again over $1 million being granted to the arts community members over the year. On the district vitality side, this year we have a $5.2 million capital improvement program. We need to assess the current state. We've been doing a lot of work over a number of years. We need to now check in and assess where each of our facilities are at and map out the next 5 to 10 years for capital improvements. So that's on the work plan this year. We know we need to replace both the HVAC and the fire suppression system at 1500 Pearl. This is before the entire system grows up. Yes. So that capital program, that capital project will likely be expanding. 11 Spruce, we all know we need to replace some of the upper level landings at the elevator. If you've spent any time on those landings, you might be a little stressed. They're okay. We have put in some temporary infrastructure to make sure that they're safe, but we need to replace them entirely. We also need to replace the fire suppression system at that garage. At St. Julian, there's
not fire suppression because I was talking with the fire inspector guy who came by my office, and they have mixed feelings about fire suppression systems, and they try to get rid of them.
Well, maybe we can just tear them all out.
When not needed because they have more issues than they solve at times.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was the question. Are they, because they're cars and like car fires and stuff that are mandated to be there, or can we?
Well, it's interesting. So that's a great question, and I don't know if we can get to an answer right now. There's a lot of our garages. Actually, the fire suppression system doesn't exist in the garage space. It is in the commercial people spaces.
Because like with my office, because we use our attic, we have to have it. But if we didn't use our attic, we wouldn't be required to have one, and it would be a lot simpler. But we do put crap in our attic. So I guess that's I'm sure your team has thought of this, but this is a new thing that I recently discovered, is that like you can get around it by changing some of your ways, and then you don't need a fire suppression system.
All right, well, I don't have an answer for you right now, but I'm glad you called the question. If we don't have to replace it, then because it seems like it's caused us a lot more heartache.
It's
than
the
fires.
The fire marshal fellow whose name I space out right now, but he would know.
All right.
And he's a lot more on it right now than after Marshall. That's what he's the inspector guy, the fellow who came to my place.
Good to know. Let's see. We are also planning for the 50th anniversary of the Pearl Street Mall coming up in 2027. So working with Parks and Recreation on and many other partners on what we want to prepare for the 50th anniversary and then the next 50 years of the Pearl Street Mall.
I'm sorry, one more interruption. That was when Bettina was talking earlier. I was going to inquire about the 5-year plan, and like you know what it is now because you've been here and been exposed to it. But on our agenda activities priorities list that we kind of came up with, that was one of the things. Is there anything in the short term that we need to be, as the DMC, can do to help further things along? Because there's all these things about alleyways and all these other things, and it's going to be awesome. But I just didn't know how that's gonna happen.
So there's this last bullet item on here. So real quickly, we're working on improvements to the mobile vendor cart program, so we get more small business supported through that program. We have resources to underground Excel power lines that are currently above ground in the downtown. So we're going to be working to identify, prioritize undergrounding of those in partnership with other departments and climate initiatives. Last, but certainly not least, is this GID, alternatives analysis and capital planning. So that doesn't say all the things, Dawn, that you just said, but what that is contemplating is understanding our long-term fund health and the resources that we have available, and translating that into a 10 to 20-year capital plan in support of things like the downtown vision plan, of course, the SARE framework, all these other moving bits and parts and pieces, the connection to the conference center on the hill. And so our team, Matt Shazansky's Cultural Vibrancy and District Vitality team is going to be scoping and leading a conversation to plan out what that looks like. So we'll certainly be turning to DVP's vision plan in the contemplation of how we want to leverage the resources that we have available to us through the GIDs to further as many visions as possible over the next decade or two. So more to come on that. On the Access for All side, in 2023, we had a lot of public-facing transformations that our customers became very well aware of. This year, we're planning more in some more internal stuff. So we're working to replace the back-end system that connects all of our payment systems, our enforcement systems with municipal court. So think about when you pay for your parking on Park Mobile, it's important that in real time, our parking enforcement officer who's walking down the street knows that you paid for your parking. And so there's a back-end system that connects all of these things together. And if a ticket is written, it is important for municipal court to know that that ticket was written so that when you show up to contest that ticket that just showed up on your windshield, all the systems are communicating together. The system we have right now called T2 has been around since the movie T2, literally, and it feels like it operates like it. And so we are pursuing a process to likely replace all of that system. We're hoping that as far as the customer experience, it's as seamless as possible, but it is a lot of change and a lot of work on the internal side.
Sure.
You heard a little bit about the Communify pilot program. Regan is on the agenda. She's going to go up after this. I'm not going to talk about that right now. But we're also doing, with these changes in these systems and considering the changes with Gateless, we're also doing a comprehensive product review of all of our parking products and access products to make sure that we're best meeting the needs of the customers that we're trying to serve. And finally, on our maintenance side, we're working to implement a digital asset management system so that we can better streamline the work of our maintenance teams. So we can understand the things that may be happening every day, every week, every month, to keep our systems operating as smoothly as possible and using digital systems as opposed to written down operating policies to make our work more efficient and keep better track of who's doing what when. That is our 2024 work plan. It's just a few things. As always, we are very ambitious. It is always my hope that we get through everything that we say that we want to. We also acknowledge that we have a council retreat coming up in a few weeks that might reprioritize things a little bit. This is what we're saying we want to do. These are the goals that we've set out. We also know that sometimes pipes freeze and our attention gets pulled elsewhere, but we have a fantastic team of folks working really hard to understand and appreciate what the priorities of the community are, what our priorities of our commissions are, to translate into constant improvement and transformation. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions about the overall work plan, or we can go into the detail of the Communify pilot.
So does this plan then have to be ratified by council? Is it budgeted?
This is all
What's our next
budgeted.
step?
So yeah, this is our planned work plan. It's what we've budgeted for, it's what we've been planning for. And then we want to match it to reality to the greatest extent possible.
Yes.
And so just wanting to share with you all what we've identified as our priorities through our processes. All right, and with that, I will hand it over to Regan. I will stop sharing my screen so you can see your screen.
What?
Fancy.
Oh, thank you.
But it's still clearly a City of Boulder presentation.
Yes. I don't have any pretty photos like you did, Chris, so bear with me. But I'll try to get through this fairly quickly. So we're launching a pilot program this year with Commutify, a transportation demand management pilot program. For those of you who are not familiar, Commutify is a tech startup based here in Boulder, and their focus is really on creating platforms to better understand and quantify commuting patterns, as well as encourage sustainable commutes. So they're a great company. We've worked with them in the past on the Door to Downtown project, which you may or may not be familiar with. I think that was in 2018.
I wasn't even here then. Yeah,
Okay, so it's long ago.
2017, 2018.
But the pilot program will run through 2024, and the focus areas are going to be in Caged and Boulder Junction Access District. So Caged and BJAT I'll be referencing throughout the presentation. First, just want to provide a high-level overview of the purpose and the outcomes that we're seeking to achieve through this program before diving into the specifics. So the purpose, in summary, is to encourage companies in Caged and BJAT to fund and participate in sustainable commuting practices through a financial incentives matching program directed at their employees. So it'll provide financial incentives to employees who use sustainable transportation methods to get to and from work. So for example, carpooling, RTD, B-cycle, walking, etc. And the result that we're trying to achieve here is that commuters will be more aware and educated on Boulder's multimodal transportation options, really all in an effort to reduce carbon footprints, decrease traffic congestion, improve air quality, and then support local businesses, which is a component I'll get to, but essentially the financial incentive money can be used towards local retailers in Caged and BJAT. So now diving in a little bit to the specific elements of the program. First, Commutify will develop a public information hub for employers and their employees to learn more about the program and explore the transportation options that are available to them. We'll then work with Commutify to conduct outreach to employers within Caged and BJAT so that they can register their organization on the project landing page. And then there they'll be able to determine the amount that they would like to incentivize for each employee. So again, if an employee takes a sustainable commute to work, they can receive a financial incentive from their employer in doing so. And the city will then match that incentive up to $1.25 per trip with a maximum match per employer. So that's still yet to be defined, but we do have a limited pool of funding. And so there will be a maximum amount that we can match per employer for that up to $1.25 per trip, if that makes sense. Let's see, and then Commutify will then assist participating employers in recruiting their employees to join the incentives program. So essentially they'll develop and maintain an online dashboard where employees can register into the program, and they can also validate their qualified commuting trips either through self-reporting or automatic integrations, which we're working on with our micro mobility partners. So for example, if an employee takes a B cycle to work, that'll be reported on the B cycle app, but then will automatically integrate into that Commutify platform. So we're working on that.
This sounds like reimbursing bus trips or something like that is how it's sounding. Like versus like an employer buying bikes for their staff, which is not a per trip kind of thing. It's more like you have a bike, now you can bike to work.
Right. Yeah, or like a park and cash out program, I think is another term that's used that you can compare it to.
Does it only work if it's an employer-employee relationship? Or could you work with all the co-working spaces in Boulder, for example, where it's not an employer-employee relationship, but it's a benefit?
That's a great question. At this point, the pilot program is focused solely on employers in BJAD and KJID and their employees, but I'm very open to that feedback and happy to chat with Commutify about it. We're still developing the product and
I think as long as you can demonstrate that you're an employee within the district, it doesn't necessarily have to be your business registered with it, with the platform.
yes, yeah, but the employer will provide that financial incentive. So I guess as long as you can. I don't know what else for it.
Do you know what the tax treatment of that is? The employee taxed on that 125 or up to 250?
I'm not sure.
That might be too deep, but
That's a good question though. Yeah.
because that's significantly burdensome to an employer.
And
Well,
so-
go ahead, Chris.
So, and I think, so we are wanting employers to participate in the program, but you don't have to be a participating employer. Or your employer doesn't have to participate in the program to participate in the tool. So
Right.
so we do want employers to also participate and put money into this thing. We
Yeah.
also want to make sure that anybody in the district, just as we have with the EcoPass program, can benefit from this tool. And I might need to do some talking with Rich, because we've done a soft launch of this before with downtown employees, and as long as you had downtown, as long as your email was within a downtown employer, you were able to use this tool. So wanted to make sure that we capitalize on that to the greatest extent possible.
From a messaging standpoint, that is my big confusion is like EcoPass is already paid for. So what is the other option other than biking or something like that, but that's free? So I'm trying to understand the interaction of the paid EcoPass that's already free. What are they getting reimbursed for? I guess
It's not a reimbursement. I don't think you can think about it that way. It's more of an incentive not to get near somebody.
Yeah, think about it like a wellness platform where if you get
if
your
you
flu
use
shot.
EcoPass, you get
Right.
some money
You get it.
towards it.
Exactly, but that money can only be spent on certain things. So we want people to be, because what we've learned is, especially these last few years with COVID, is we have all these EcoPasses out there, but people aren't using them as much anymore. So we really want to use these carrots, if you will, to encourage folks to use not just their EcoPass, but car share, the scooters, e-cycle, any of these options available to them, and use this tool as the way to incentivize the new behavior.
Commutify, I know has not solved winter, which is a big issue that we all face in Boulder. I think it's as a 50% of the year bike commuter with my own bike, I find that like there's very little incentive for me to do alternative modes of transportation in the winter because it's very challenging. So I think in this program, my thought is that if you just if you increase the amount of utilization in the half of the year that you can commute more sustainably, then maybe it would be worth it. But also I would just say like the winter is just, it's a game changer in the wrong direction. And not because of the cold, but because of the darkness.
Cool.
And the cold, but the darkness and snow and wind.
Well, and
Ice.
I
But
also
I'm
wanna-
highly incentivized, you know, like.
And this
yeah.
this isn't just about every other mode but driving. We also are going to be pushing parking related products on here. We want folks
Yeah.
to sign up for Metropolis. We want them to be aware of the $3 product. It's really a platform that's to connect them with all of the transportation options available to them, even if that is driving, and making sure that they're aware of the more affordable products like the $1.25 product at the Alpine Balsam Garage.
Yeah, no, I like the
So-
idea. I think it's like if we put pushing it in the months where it's possible and like almost hoping that, you know, not assuming that you're gonna get much if for the dark and cold half of the year. I think it could be really successful,
Well,
right?
it is important to note also that carpooling and van pooling will be a part of this too. So maybe an employee won't be like, oh, I'm gonna walk to work on this -20-degree day, but I'm gonna take a ride to work with my friends.
And money talks.
And we're sharing this with you now. The launch is until April.
April 1st, the
Yes.
incentives
So
program.
it'll
will
be a
start.
little bit, our first, the first months of the pilot will be in the warmer months.
But it is important to note too that an employee can report their commute 2 times per day, so to and from work. So technically they have the ability to earn up to $5 a day, which is pretty cool. But again, there will be a limit to how much we can put towards matching each employer. So if this program is really successful, we may need to communicate down the road later this year. Hey, we're reaching that funding limit. You are more than welcome to continue incentivizing your employee, but there will be a cap, at least for this pilot program, in terms of how much we can provide to incentivize that.
I guess how many, like, as an employer myself, I believe in this, but I also don't know if I could justify allocating money towards this. Like, where does it become where the risk is on the employer? And I guess that part's a little bit unclear, like who's the right fit? Like, are restaurants with their low margins gonna be incentivized to do something like this? Even if they care about climate, it's like they're just trying to keep their business afloat. So
Yeah,
what have you heard? Have you heard any like initial
we haven't started conducting the outreach to
tax credit, but
employers.
it's work, you know? To do stuff that's new. Yeah.
We'll probably receive more of that feedback once we start
Yeah.
conducting outreach to employers in the coming months. But I will say, and this is the last component here, is that the participating employers can apply for the state tax credit from the program, which is the alternative transportation tax credit. So they can receive a 50% tax credit on any funds they use to invest in alternative modes of transportation, in which this program would certainly qualify. And then I skipped over the last bullet point, but employees will also receive their financial incentive money on this platform via a virtual mobility card. We can provide a physical card on a case by case as requested. But those funds can be used to be reinvested into sustainable trips or at local retailers that we're still working on identifying in KJIT and BJAD.
So launch is April 1st. Is that when it's announced to the public to kind of like sign up and stuff? Are we announcing it ahead of time to?
We're gonna start conducting outreach ahead of time for sure. So this is the timeline, but we are currently working on product development and configuration. We'll start testing and conducting outreach in March, and then the official launch and incentives program officially begins on April 1st. And then next steps, so the incentives program will run until the end of the year, so employees can earn funds until the end of December, but they have until the end of January 2025 to spend their incentive money that they earn. And then we'll evaluate the program, identify opportunities for improvement, with the goal of hopefully expanding it potentially to other areas of the city, or at least continuing it in the coming years if successful. But happy to entertain any questions from commissioners. Again, we're really still in the beginning phases of developing this, so I can escalate any questions I can't answer to Commutify, but happy to chat through any feedback you have as well.
So just in the general picture, individuals can sign up for it. irregardless of their company, but the company can also put 50% of the payment in and double the money they would get from Communify as well, and the company has an incentive to do that for the tax incentive.
Yes,
Which then they would get 50% of that back through tax incentives.
correct. Yes.
Do they have a lot of people lying about that they took trips and that they otherwise didn't track? I mean, like,
Well,
is that an
we're gonna
issue?
try working on the automatic integrations as much as possible, so it would be.
Real
simple.
bicycles, sorry, those are
Oh,
real.
yeah, well, there's like, aside from B-cycle, I guess.
Like your
there's
own
biking to work.
bicycle, bike to work is,
But I mean, then they're lying to their employer, so I don't know, that's.
yeah, no, it's not, I just, yeah,
It's bad karma.
Yeah.
I would agree. It's bad karma.
That sounds
Well,
cool.
and that's
Very
why we are focusing where we have parking products, right? So we do know whether or not, your license plate, you said so-and-so license plate is associated with my account. But I biked today, yet your license plate is still showing up in our system. So
Yeah,
there are some checks and balances. I think we just want to try it for now. And see how it goes, and then learn as much as we can. And if there is a ton of fraud, then it's something for us to consider about whether or not.
it's very cool.
Yeah, it'll be a fun project to try to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to see how it ties in with just getting people out of working from home too, because it's one more incentive to bring people to downtown. So that's one of the nice benefits too, is that
Yeah,
we bringing people here.
I guess like my question is, how many people actually work for employers? Like locally, because there's so many people working remotely, and like, I would hope that there are different phases where we could figure out that maybe the employer-employee relationship isn't the only one that we can incentivize. I don't know, like,
if an employer is not based here or.
it's just
involved
like
with
all
this
these
program.
people I know who work here, like a lot of people, Boulder has so many remote workers, they work for other big companies, who knows where, like. That might, it's not gonna be, they're unlikely to be able to participate in this type of thing. It seems very local, like you're gonna go to this retail
Yeah,
business.
what
and
you're talking
say,
about is just marketing it, because like in a way, like,
Yeah,
Microsoft's not gonna care, but the employees there, so like talking to the co-working places and the chambers and all these kind of places to put it out there so people know about it and they can then
or like,
follow it up, because Microsoft, you're not gonna talk to Amazon.
Well, they might care though, but they might have they should have some local person in charge that if you talk to the right person, that might be a significant enticement. to
I
them.
imagine these are centralized functions, most of them, but. And benefits.
Well, and again, I'd say,
Function.
a long time, one of the benefits of doing business in downtown Boulder was you had the benefit of free Eco Pass paid for by the city. And that used to be a great selling product. And it's not the selling product that it used to be before COVID. And so we want to continue to be able to provide and be on the leading edge of how do we, as KJID, being responsible for managing access demands to the downtown district, how do we leverage this into a benefit of doing business downtown versus everywhere else in the city?
Yeah.
And so we'll learn a lot over the next year. And maybe this could be that next generation of why doing business in downtown or in one of the general improvement districts is more desirable than locating your business in Broomfield or wherever, because there are a lot of options out there.
Thanks for you.
Thank you.
All right, one more item on matters from staff. We have Emmy Smith here, who I think there's a lot of new faces at our commission meeting this month. Emmy Smith has joined us from the communications and engagement team. She's supporting the community vitality department. All might remember Jen Bray. She was our communication program support person. And so Emmy is here leading us on the communication side. And so wanted to provide her an opportunity to introduce herself to you all in person and then provide an update on our commission recruitment strategies. So Emmy.
Thank you, Chris. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you all. Prior to joining the city, I was with the Downtown Boulder Partnership. And so I've had the pleasure of spending a lot of time engaged in downtown matters. And I'm just gonna provide a really quick overview on what we've done from the city communication side of things to share the word on commission recruitment. There are, I believe, 2 seats open on the Downtown Management Commission this year. And so things that have been done to fill those seats, Don graciously volunteered his time to talk about volunteering his time on the Inside Boulder News segment that went out this past Friday. And so Don shared all kinds of great insights into why he chose to serve on this commission in the hopes of getting more people to join him in that effort. Our friends at Downtown Boulder Partnership are sharing it in their membership newsletter this week. And so all those downtown businesses that are members will be getting information on recruitment and application. And then we shared it out on all kinds of city channels beginning in the middle of December. So a press release went out. It's gone out in multiple newsletters, in the city's volunteer newsletter, on Nextdoor, on all kinds of social media platforms and posts. And then the Office of Arts and Culture has also been sharing all kinds of CV openings in their newsletter and on social media there. And then any word of mouth you all share is greatly appreciated. That application is open through Monday, January 29th.
I know I have one person who is highly interested.
That's awesome.
Bettina, if you want to throw my name in the newsletter too, it's just like if you want to talk to a commissioner who's down here. I guess we all apply, but like, because it's a owner.
Don's cell phone.
Well, it's two different owner representative seats versus
Yeah.
at large.
Yeah.
So
There are no, yeah,
No
because of that,
at-large
there are no citizen seats, so I think it should be a particularly business oriented.
and Susan, when is March your last meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Second to last meeting.
so you're talking about bringing donuts, or right?
No, you're supposed to bring them to me.
The Mark just realized, okay.
Have you had any submissions yet?
We can't check how many submissions we've had so far, so we don't know currently where we're at numbers wise, but hopefully the answer is yes. The effort has been, there have been some targeted things we've done, for instance, reach out to Downtown Boulder Partnership and Don, your interview on Inside Boulder, that are really like downtown management commission focused. And then a lot of the city efforts have been commissions and boards at large. So recruiting for all vacancies across all boards commissions. And so I don't have targeted numbers on exactly how many people have applied for each one yet.
Yeah, the
But
city,
we'll know once
the
it's
city
approved.
clerk's office leads this process for the entire organization, and so we as many commissions that we support, we are subjected to their process and their updates on applicants. So we will know more soon, but yeah.
Are there other like organizations that also have an audience with the downtown businesses that we should share with, like the Chamber or Restaurant Association or something like that?
I can reach out to the chamber for sure. I think that would be a potential good partner to plug into. If there are really specific, as you all know, there are really specific requirements to apply to the Downtown Management Commission. And so that's why the outreach is tough, because it does have to be so targeted. I'm hopeful that Downtown Boulder Partnership sharing the word will be really helpful. But yeah, I can reach out to the chamber and see if they have any like.
It's soon, right?
It's open until the 29th of January, so there's a couple more weeks for people to apply.
I've
So
had two
the-
people ask me about it that got the information from somewhere, so hopefully it's one of
getting
these
out there.
efforts.
The property rep, I mean, I don't own property, but I was sponsored by a property owner, so it doesn't have to be someone.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, there's a process that we walk through really in depth on the website about how to navigate that. You have to have a letter that's written by the owner to be the representative, but there are ways to do that for
And
sure.
property owner representatives don't even need to live in the city of Boulder to serve in that seat. As long as you are representing for the property owner, it does not matter.
Great.
Not that we don't want your clone, Susan.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Talk
Talk to my husband about that.
So it sounds, that's more than last year, it sounds like. A lot more targeted.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was done last year specifically,
Seems more, yeah.
but try and get the word out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all for anything you've shared, and Don for your time. That was really wonderful.
And that concludes matters from staff.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is matters from commissioners. I have just a very short update, but before I do that, do any other commissioners have any matters they'd like to bring up?
There's one item that I saw in the news with Denver having issues with someone who was on a Lime scooter who hit someone. They left the scene, and the person who that happened to was in like a world of issues because of insurance issues and stuff like that. And so I looked into Lime's. Stephanie was kind enough, she sent me the Lime insurance forms, and they are only in 2 states, not our state. It's like California and Ohio that they have insurance. And just to forestall this from happening in the future, because I see a lot of Lyme issues. What if there's a hit and run and or some sort of issue like that, there is no solution for the person who was involved in the accident with someone riding a Lyme, because it's and also Lyme would not share the information without some sort of like actual
I imagine, so.
without a subpoena of sorts for the data, because it's private information and so on, which is understandable and that's solvable. But the biggest issue is there is no insurance for the person who was hit by the Lyme person. So I just didn't know, is this something we can solve for in the future with our next contract with Lyme, that they include Boulder in that list of places that they cover, because right now it only, I think it was Ohio.
So I do know Allison in transportation mobility is planning to come to the next meeting to talk about what they've been learning on the Lyme front. She's also planning to listen to this meeting, so we'll let her know that you asked that question. She certainly can be prepared to help answer it when she comes next month.
Yeah, we also asked for, I think it's scooter related incidents that they're tracking too. So hopefully she can share that.
Yeah, we let her know about your interest and March is when she was able to join us.
Okay.
We're gonna get a whole meeting in without talking about scooters.
And she's planned a tour for us to ride around. For Susan's last meeting.
We should still run into each other.
You don't understand the Lime scooter generation down. Any other matters from commissioners? Okay. Briefly, I want to give a recap on the, 2 meetings that I went to now.
Yes, apologies for not.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, the first meeting, it was the bid. There's a lot of acronyms still, even for me. So Bettina, you should feel, if you get them now, you're just way ahead of the game. Bid, and then it was Downtown Boulder Partnerships. And so they're a voting board. And so I just sat and listened, but they also do have Matt Benjamin on city council attends, the police department attends. They had a presentation from SAMPS. And my impression was that it felt very similar to our meeting, like 70% overlapping content. I didn't learn a lot of new things, except I heard the business owners complaining rightfully about like just the amount of high utilizers in front of their businesses and just like all the challenges they've had with that. And so it felt like a lot of similar content to what we've heard. And I am appreciative of your efforts to kind of try and reduce the number of meetings that have a lot of overlapping content. And so the second meeting I went to was Bettina's attempt to consolidate many of the people from all these different boards and et cetera. There's a lot of people there. And what was cool for me is just to see people I haven't seen in a while from all these different settings, like Lori, who visited us to talk about like CU, the relationship with the city, she was there, and then like the bid board was there, and city council members were there, and Nuria was there, so it was I think a valuable setting for me to just hear the pulse from a lot of wider groups. And I think it was net valuable for me. It was high level, I would say. That's my only feedback. It was high level because it had to be. And in this meeting, we can get a lot deeper into like, let's just not hear an update from people, 20,000 foot view, but let's actually hear like what's working, what's not working well, where the key, like what we've, just a level deeper where you kind of know more of the details of the challenges and the successes. So I think my takeaway was it's very valuable for us to be involved in bigger settings, but that we do have a unique, like small space here to actually work through things and answer questions that we otherwise wouldn't have in bigger meetings. So I think the issues are the same. It's not a surprise. Between like a lot of these boards and commissions, they feel very overlapping to me. I don't know, Bettina, if you have a comment on that, you felt the same, which is why you consolidated, but.
I mean, I called it the grand experiment when we met together on
Yeah.
Thursday, and there's definitely been attempts over the years to have the Business Improvement District and the Downtown Boulder Partnership, and the Downtown Boulder Community Initiatives Board meet together maybe once a year. And my goal is really to consolidate those so that we're getting the same information and those high level updates consistently throughout the year so that people can develop more relationships. I could spend a long time talking about the ways that I think the experiment failed, but I think ultimately it was successful in that we were able to not duplicate the same information being presented at meeting after meeting after meeting. I do think that much like this commission reports up to city council, and then council gets a higher level of the work being done. For Downtown Boulder Partnership, we have committees that are digging into the policy work at a more nitty-gritty level and then feeding that up. So over time, as the experiment continues, I think we'll be able to do a better job getting feedback about those committee and policy decisions that are made at the more granular level. But it was great to have you there, and I think it's good that you were able to interact with people and that it's not totally duplicative. Like, that doesn't serve anybody, right? We all want downtown to be successful, and it's a very complicated place, it turns out.
Yeah,
With that in mind, is because it is so duplicative, you heard the same things. You can't, it's fine, we can't talk there, but you just now know that they know what we know, is what I'm hearing you kind of say.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you, should we continue?
yeah, I mean, I have asked myself for a while, like, what is the purpose? Is I think it's just to be more aware, right, about what's happening and who's working on what. I mean, part of our role is that like the more that we understand, the more we can advise and support, figure out where to support and what not to. And there is a knowledge gap. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. It's hard to figure out what they are and what meaningfully, intersects with where we have ownership. So I think it's valuable. I think these meetings happen to be like a week apart, so it just feels duplicative to me now. Like, I heard the exact same police report and he repeated it, and now I really know it, right? But no, I think that it's valuable for us to be involved in that on a monthly basis. It is a bit more of a time commitment, right? Like, these meetings are monthly during the workday. So if we all spread apart, each commission member went to one of them, it would feel more palpable. But I don't think anyone's coming into this commission role thinking that they're gonna now go to like a monthly meeting during the workday. So I think we would have to split it up.
I can say I have attended those meetings in the past.
Yeah.
And my husband was on the bid board for
Yeah.
a long time, so they are very, very similar, but I think that the benefit to me was it's a different perspective. I mean, we all have one perspective,
Yeah.
we're looking at it from one way. They're much more like feet on the streets kind of perspective, and I think it's really valuable to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I definitely think it is. I think we should rotate, and we'll hopefully get 2 more people. And if that's okay as part of the thing, I think that it would then be a feeder into just this meeting and just create more. Yeah, consistency and,
Yeah, I think I fully support you all participating. I guess the only, one of the things that I missed is we didn't really have an opportunity for the folks in the room to realize that we had a DMC commissioner there at the last meeting. I'm not sure if I missed the other meeting, but maybe if there's some way to integrate that presence into the experiment.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think even, I mean, giving like the communication channels work both ways, right? I've learned a lot by being here today. So when you come and cycle through attending these meetings, you can have an opportunity to present on what you've been experiencing as a commissioner. I think that would be
Yeah.
really valuable.
yeah, I think it would. I mean, I knew people not because of this commission, because I met them outside of it. And otherwise, I would have been like, I don't know who anyone in this room is for the most part. So I do wonder if there's any way, without doing like a cheesy icebreaker, but I did feel like that group is so big. Depends on how cheesy maybe, but to meet people, because I actually didn't know who was there and who
Well,
the
just ask the
individuals
question,
were.
like the way that like Tina gets time for here. Are you suggesting, or is one idea that you just take 5 minutes to say, hey, I'm from the DM, you get a chance to present at the meeting?
Yeah.
And just as part of it, just
Yeah, I'm
5
not
minutes
sure
just to say,
what
like, I
I
am the
would
government
present.
arm here too. But I don't mean to step on your toes, I just didn't know if that would have been, is that what you meant? Because we can't get together for an icebreaker with them, we'd have to do it like,
Well, that is what I meant, was we would give 5 minutes absolutely to whatever commissioner would want to present at that meeting. And one of the admitted failures, I think, of our meeting on Thursday, and I don't want to take too much time here, was that I knew that I didn't know everybody,
Yeah,
but I forgot that not everybody didn't know.
you know more
everybody
people, I'm
else.
sure, after your 50 person.
I did.
Yeah.
And so that was a blind spot for me. Oh, you don't know who each other are, because there are so many boards and we're all drinking the alphabet soup of the DN, all the DNC and the.
I don't think most people know who we are, so I think it's worth introductions, but not just me to everyone else or Don or, but broadly speaking, like who people are in the room would be an interesting thing, because I do think the benefit is hearing other perspectives and personally knowing people, right? And so, yeah, I appreciated the consolidation though, because I think I was even confused how many variations on meetings there were that we would benefit from hearing people.
and as long as just to continue this kind of concept, one of the ideas that I had was talking to commissioners, should we meet with like one of us go talks to TAB and one of us goes to talk to the art commission and just to form more. We hear it from staff and you all are doing what you do. Is there any benefit of us just zooming into one of their meetings, and not all of us, but we all kind of like, okay, we're gonna talk to 4 others or whatever, and just because like you were on the art commission one, right?
They were on the selection.
Yeah, the selection
committee,
thing, but that was kind of like, that was nice, but on other times, like we keep doing more public art and there's all this stuff
Way
at the
more time.
library that's gonna spawn out and.
Yeah,
I don't mean to make work either, but
Yeah.
is there any better, and Chris, I want to hear your opinion on this too.
well, I'd say it depends on what the commission body wants to get out of that, in the sense of when you are not meeting it with a quorum, you're just a volunteer, you're a person in the community who's interested in these issues, unless you have been empowered by a quorum of the commission saying, I would like Don to show up to TAB and testify to this thing. And so really right sizing, what is it that we want to accomplish out of these opportunities? Because I totally support cross-pollination, and that's
Yeah.
why, the art project in the garage was a great opportunity to kind of get different
Yeah,
parts of the
Because
work.
there's a
and see-
purpose around it, like,
Exactly.
yeah, and I like, if this is what I'm saying, if there's this like working group about the strategy around commercial properties, like, that's that's like for a shared purpose that we're getting involved and working with other people, but
Because I
just
think
to be
oftentimes we
informed,
have
I
opposite
think.
opinions of TAB. And
Yeah,
it seems like we have a different direction from what TAB wants.
Yes.
We don't, yeah, we don't even know. It's better that we don't know who they are. Better that they don't know who we are.
They don't know who we are.
It's not recording. no.
No, I'm just kidding. I think it's good to know who people are, almost like if there was a happy hour of all the commissions, like I'd love to meet people, but I think that around a shared purpose project is where I think it would.
So when those opportunities arise, then we'll figure out who should be.
Well, I think these monthly meetings are gonna happen and then we could figure out who should go to each one.
Okay.
I think that's a
Natural
good.
fit with.
Yeah, I think there's the most alignment for sure in the meeting that Bettina's planning.
Yeah.
And what we're focused on, like I felt like none of the content was irrelevant to what we're doing,
Okay.
so. Yeah, and I think my key question is like, how much of it is tactical versus strategic too? And I think that's my only bit of feedback was it felt like, I'm like, why are they talking about the cold weather? Like, does that happen every year? Like, but some of these things, like, people are just kind of responding to like what happened yesterday versus like the strategic outlook on the future of the downtown. So I'd be curious to hear how those things balance out in the next meetings, like how much of it is like responding to what we're doing now versus strategy around the future. It felt very tactical, but I think it was the first one, so that seemed like it should. People
Well,
were
I mean-
very concerned about the cold weather. We spent a lot of time talking about that.
Well, let me push like the concept of tab again, just to kind of explore it from a different point of view, because like we got the emails, I think all of us got the individual email.
Mhm.
And in a way that does impact what we're doing, because we have the garages and on-street parking and stuff like that. And so we have joint agenda meetings with BJAD and UCAMC, but I almost wonder if, I'll put it to the commissioners before I put it to Chris, but like, Chris over eavesdropping over here. But almost like, should we raise red flags for when there are things that maybe touch on things that, because that issue directly impact the reduction of
Parking
the
strategy.
parkings.
Parking. Well, it's interesting. in the
It is
downtown.
6 o'clock, by the way.
Yes, and so I think that there certainly are going to be opportunities for that. Parking reform is going to be on the city work plan for 2024. We didn't talk about it here because we're not leading it. And actually, we have not had parking requirements in Cajun since, I think, the formation of the district, right? That was part of the strategy. We were one of the first communities in the country to eliminate parking minimums for specific uses in areas where we knew we were going to be able to accommodate another way. So as different as TAB and DMC might feel like you are sometimes, there might be a way that you actually do meet when given the opportunity. I think those opportunities could come up later this year. There might be, instead of handling the conversation separately, where traditionally the planning staff will come talk to this commission about parking changes.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to the other commission to give the same presentation. Similar to, you all were in the joint commission, was there a joint commission meeting last year on a very important topic that is escaping my mind?
There was something like that once.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was-
you might have.
Sorry, it was Boulder Junction. So there was a joint Boulder Junction commission meeting for the BJAT phase 2 work. So there might be an opportunity for some synergies in a joint commissions
So I think
meeting.
the benefit, because you get input, staff gets input from all of us, but also you're getting left hand and right hand disagreeing with each other, and maybe there's a little bit more either consensus or we can debate with each other better, clearly.
Well, it seems to me that staff is hearing what's happening sort of on a global city level, that maybe we could get more input from staff on, hey, this is happening here. Preliminary, it's probably too soon to do anything, but just so you know, or this thing has potential to affect what we're interested in. So maybe that, at that point, it would be a good idea to set it.
Yeah, that Venn diagram overlap, I guess, is what I'm looking.
Yeah, but so relying on staff to sort of flag those opportunities.
Absolutely. And I think that we're in a time where a lot of, on the staff side, they agree that a joint approach, instead of going to 12 different meetings, having one big one, is a lot more productive. And so we can certainly push that on this topic and any other topics that seem.
I guess we're looking for you to like, where does that overlap happen? It's maybe not just between us and Tab, it's like, there's
Right.
all those things that you know. I've talked to you about this before, it's just being more efficient use of staff time.
Right.
So our next meeting is Tuesday, March 12th. And at 4 PM here. Can I have a motion
To move, we adjourn.
I moved.
Second that.
I'm learning Robert's rules, okay?
I knew where you're going.
Adjourned.